achievement of John Dramani Mahama as president or vice?
President Mahama achievement there. Me say enye obi enya afa ni ye ba be ka ho asem you ye nyina ye to ma mu ha ya so aswansa na me sha ase ebubo
because e bi ka say o mo hu fa so wo so ba wo dide ne den da jubili ho a wo kofa
you see said you say de o man hye won sa ye de o man ne hye won sa se bra na be pija enipa no o mabra bomu na fafiri mpempenso e wo no e de ko mpempenso a wo mu ehun beto na Ghana ya economy no ya chiche mu nkura bata bebre nti your education your health your economy your agriculture se o hwe sa edema ya mabobo so nyina including ya membo so ne kra a ebi wo hono kra latent sectors like governance o hwe ni nyina obehu se ye achievement ayeye no so staggering and outstanding a ye nua no muntimi nye nti ye nhyase ye finding free education for example so offer education your various levels of education, your preschool, your primary education, and your secondary education, and your tertiary education. So, share a preschool education. School I see under President Mahama and Kwabe over 380 school preschool. Share primary school, new schools I see and the secondary school schools under trees I almost 2,800. A new community. Say, Omani tumpono na enipa migrate or migrate or create new settlements. So as and when they create the new settlements, you need to give them schools.
Yeah.
It's here by and the schools I work under trees almost about 3,000. But President Mahama Abemu within that short period we were able to remove about 2,800. Menoka say schools under trees is hovering close to about 3,800 this year because over a long period of time new schools are coming. Government is making no investments, and the reason why government is not making the investments, they say Oshe Abayin Sikai Chatwoma education, almost 90% of the allocation goes into free SHS. Not just say on the Akani, there is no investments. It's overcome most of the schools, primary school, the Kromu Tradiana, Kokru, Kesimu, and Sanawakunya DHS. It's no Timin DHS. It's a dropout rate in the northern region of East, Upper West, or average around 65%. The Kuala Kwano ma drop it, or Muntimi and to us. You understand? So, share secondary education under President Mahama. Yet me LC secondary school diama F Braille free abem 2016. MP before ever so mono. School placement, not available space. I will honor more no movie school, not extra gap. I had down almost about 49,000. Almost about 49,000. Yenya in Kwalankum because you invest in ye blocks near see 200 within 4 years. You see almost 120 now. You see me no can say ye will be see honoma ya no munti bi mfa school kwala enko boom because e bi wo yes omo tonkunya boom near ntia wo munti mi tonkunya no nim desine maybe ye bia ada we see na for
schools no esi afi free SHS na my enrollment na for so same time na mo
in say mu omo keka
ye this time omo pass papa mo time na omo pass dey by name atwam isi aso hwe my course secondary school senior high no a wo mo ne member ratio na ye pe wo mo the stem aba
no and hono mo na wo tia na wo hu say aban no nka no kre I didn't see the double track. The double track is a classrooms in why I didn't call any become. And now I say because classrooms in and so no a dynasty hosts here still will be uncle school. Complete are dining out in Kujaniko Guma. Naka Kalani Business School. Yet initially near one problem with the wholesale enrollment of free SHS.
Yeah. And
they say, so we wholesale enrollment of free SHS. Now we need infrastructure now. Ubenya sa problem na currently education system it's in the President Mahama say sa 120 blocks na yesi no ye no mainly day school it's in the moment yenye free SHS no for day students for starters said ye be sa 120 schools na yesi no if even every school is taking about 1,000 now multiply by 120 how many 120,000 people. Said the Beya, sir, day schools will be to me far additional 120 within a short time, and they go to school for free. whilst you expand, build more schools in the year. Now, if you want to see when you excess gap, now if you want starting wholesale free senior high school, who starting wholesale free senior high school, you don't have to do double track. All the students can be in school and run at the same time. And now that President Mahama, as part of your promises, I in our manifesto, and he said, see about double track, the team don't tie a na nienti ebetwam ya ye bi da obekaya President Kufuor ofri abem no wa ye SHS 4 years na onsi dan ba akokra se bi block ba akokra on to nsi on enso na nkwala no ye ba beji abem no omu call level 4 omu call class form 4 form 4 no edan bi ani wo betwam within 8 months you see new classroom blocks, almost 494 new classroom blocks in all the institutions to accommodate the final year students. The emergency construction of those classroom blocks, and that is what we intend to do when we take over. Said the Bay and Kwalano Munina Beko School Pet. Now, and no Kodan chance for free SHS on a Tremako private senior high school. Meaning Crophobe are more private senior high school and then Kwalano, the uncle school. Because if you say, yeah, free senior high school, or a public, a secondary school. I didn't see. There's a good Chiaska abroad. Now, me back up private school. Meanwhile, share schools are GD pounds, while public schools may work. Until no more my investment, SC school dying private senior school in Omunyangwala. It's a President Mahama said, free SHS, and this is here in private senior schools. Say, private senior schools now, you bring additional space. As additional space, you know. And
maybe wonder how that would be done financially. How would you be able to support? Because and pay what you say, even what we have now, almost a chunk of education, meeting their infrastructure. The free SHS.
And I make you see, make sure be a problem no on that matter. Yes, say 90%. I will deal with that. But in Kuala Lumpur school, and as a more mobile JHS here. Say you a being free Krubia so me can wana me boa. Woman na nye free SHS no mu de yadumura. Yadumura. But esa answer space in you until you double track. Ye form one ne aka no na say bi o mu grade no wa chiri kakra na ye gya omo ajeje mu ye mo school. But what this program is going to do, they say that same number na sisi aye Tremako private senior high school na ya te number na so free public senior high school no baby aye overcrowded no near the Omako private senior high school. Well, we're paying for them anyway under the double track system. Yeah. But also it gets the private business schools, the private senior high schools, also in business. So what we are trying to do is using one stone to kill two birds. And so any problem with cost. Now I was making the point about 90% of the allocation echo into
free SHS.
Are you aware that 90% they go free SHS? The amount eco feeding as part of the free SHS is almost over 70%. Feeding. So which means that the biggest cost of free SHS is here in feeding. And why is it so? It is because a buyer are centralizing the contracting of purchasing of food. And Ghana food in India and a quanipa base do. Sabi o yetimi importo emo eko yagaba kubori yedua mo etwa mo emo ni gu warehouse yentimi enton mo no anase ye mele mo no enton waste ni import mo no from China. Yetimi importo eto bayire free Accra e de kotachima baby edua bayire no yeton bayire no ni ato bayire free ha ni e de ko. And so what we have said, they say the feeding program for free senior high school, they come back to the communities so that they can be purchasing local food to re-engineer the local economy. So they be a local economy and so I pick it. Because that's how we used to run it. It was an area predominantly, no. That is what the school feed on to activate the local economy. You see, there are many people who and our own toy and no, even the distribution alone is another huge cost on the government. It's a idea. Yeah, I have been saying this. I say, everybody a year free. Now, why is animal when you know? Now, university, President Mahama Wabemu. You see, you has,
but
you see, you know.
Me go back to free SHS.
Okay.
You have a lot of investments and the TVETs. Because okay say about 90% of the allocation, budget allocation for free SHS. So the 10% now is it a no day TVET
investments and I mean share down
TVET buildings of Mosisi across the country. Especially in Ashanti region, minimum crime, I think it's a 3 years to Ashanti.
But the 3 TVET centers will not.
No, make us a minimum crime. So
the 10% they have done some small things with it. Who said get fund seeker and education, but what collateralizing. In fact, get fund estimated revenue this year is 7.9 billion. They've collateralized almost 4 billion. 83.9. On the yet. It's no. Kakrebi beko baby. But what is supposed to go in there is not what is going in there. They could have done more with the kind of the kind of revenue now compared to the revenue that we got in government. And what we were able to do, I've mentioned some of them, the schools under trees and all the senior high schools that we built, the universities and all that. It's nowhere compared.
But they introduced STEM education.
Oh, I mean STEM education introduction there. Nothing no any deal. We see school back, one say STEM, we see me, and so we introduce STEM. It's part of the progression. So, Ghana Education Service policy. In fact, when we were in government, one of the things that we were trying to do at the time was to enhance science education, was to build science laboratories in every school. And then we know say science laboratories are now and this Bresso and the Rollins. Yes, certain under President Mills, the President Mahama. Yeah, all those labs have collapsed. Maybe what a podcast we call it.
Minister won't agree with you. Because now will be a lot of science labs.
I mean that is most ridiculous. We are not there to we won't be. Maybe I follow because I'm into education as well. So I follow. Matthias here. Me what podcast. Then they join in the course school, join US. Now you a science student. Now a lab no. Ya would be near Fabas, near course in the Marys. Who do laboratory what to say way a laboratory. In fact, in recent times, the last time I saw a laboratory in any of our secondary schools, I was sad. I mean, call back to St. Mary, but I was so sad. Said you test tube. Eureka tube.
Wesley girls cry.
Wesley girls. Now, but Wesley girls, I buying the sea.
Yeah.
I buying the sea.
Why new science labs near there?
And so the investment has been very low. And you see, more journalists for more camera, any of the science laboratories and go and see. So there is some effort, but that effort is nowhere compared to what we did when we were in government. And I believe, say, as a government, we should invest more in that one. And yet, who invested? Me, I believe in science. In fact, I'm one of the people who have argued. So I say secondary school, just courses, other courses now. Visual art and general art. I've argued. In fact, from 2016, I remember one of our manifesto committee meetings. Not Prof. And I made this argument by one man standing.
You're science is fair.
You're science fair. In 2 years JSS, now we'll call a secondary school, I'll call science. Because the science gives you a foundation that makes you, positions you to do anything. And I'm an economist. But I did science. And it was so easy for me to migrate. Anybody who does economics or business or general arts cannot move and do science or do anything related to science. But what you say? But the science and maths positions you. And you see, as you do bachelor science and maths in the manner that the students and asking and Phyllis say science in here doing too much, maths in here doing too much. Everybody is a mathematician. Everybody is a scientist. Elsewhere, other education systems, they focus more on the basics. Science is basic to everything. If it's visual art, science. So your visual art is science. Or your general art, any of the arts, science. You understand? And so if you are able to build the capacity of Nkwalano in respect of science and maths, you have set them up for anything, any challenge, any creativity. So what you are saying? Now we call tertiary education. Right. President Mahama in fear 90. Only the same few more because now vice president here you. One on quantity the end of university or the buy University of Sustainable Development. So many. You understand? President Mahama and the buy. Yeah, the UHAS a buy. Yeah, the UNE buy. In fear 9, young Busaya say university ban on the University be no mo dia. Omo fa ba akokra mba. Eko piece wa afi yese ya be. Oh. Akuma dan University. Yeah, the be no sa. Me in fact omo agree fa.
Well, I mean,
oh, so no wa kofa ba. Eti update. And wa kofa ba eti update. And me sure update here on the kofa ba. But you see, eno koda nchen apart from schools no wo sin. Nkwala no, is it affordable for them? Is it accessible for them? And on a President Mama said, if you money, you say, Nkwala no do na to me pass secondary school. Kura wo muntimi enko university. And me, I use myself as a typical example. Me try 3 years after secondary school, even though I was the overall best student, before I was able to enter into the university. Because I didn't have anybody to pay my fees. You understand? How I finally entered the university, because I now you understand? Yeah. And so there are so many like me who don't have the support to go into tertiary education. So what we are saying is that Nkwalane be secondary school now pass on admission to university. So school fees na your barrier. So school fees na year free. It's your admission no one say obeko school no akosan on krata. No one register, no one start.
You'll be paying a lot of money. And maybe somewhere you're finding the money because free SHS.
Policy na ma chere obebi and this can be free.
Right.
So what you say? It no saka admission letter na no register, no start school. No fee stress. No fee stress. Now near be sa school fees ni nyina no aban na ba betua amount through the student loan scheme. Etino ye discount be ma student loan scheme no okona mu register e bia ya registration we ni pay register e
for the
first year ni etua says kanama si etua ma wi a subsequent years no after 1 year no na wa asisi a wahu school no mu eniema na wanya kwan se ufiri poor family a wetin ya apply student loan na student loan no sisi an ne be ne say ye de mawa ye ma student loan in a manner that can pay your fees. It is a who apply for student loan is a bit your fees now. It direct to the university. It's a new affair now. Student loan delay exam time a drew nay free exam hall. Yes, you won't with school fees was a student loan Debbie. So the obligation of paying
the first year fees no is
a grant. I know your grant.
Okay, free.
I know your grant. I know your free cra. Now Udu for a level 200 to 400 now. Fees in there can use student loan. It's no corner or register student loan now. Student loan no see the payment of the fees obligation now but that student loan. So it's student loan the better to the university. It's no school no embound champion say betray school fees for the rest of the years. Because one register for student loan. And you say a free if you are a kakra woman on between your fees amount, which won't pay student loan. And no dear wow for any betray amount. But so one needs our condition now register student loan now. School new problem be about school. In essence, no 4 years in no who go school without any fee stress. 4 years in who year school after student loan now what year no about peso unya adwuma obi amba be chesiu we start here adwuma ya tene kakra ye gidi says ye timi esa ade we a ebe one can afford do ama ye nya quality education ama sabi ye human resource capacity no.
Now, how do you reconcile the payment of the school fees with the public schools and the private schools at the same time? And private universities
in Kano. Private for now, not yet. Private universities in Kano. For now, public universities in Kwan. And yes,
a lot of these students find themselves in the private schools.
But you see, that is the point. So the for now for starters, public universities. Now, nursing training for any or the other institutions, and then maybe. Course amenya obi fees what they call a technical university or yamwa admission drew by 16 years or we need scour the call and we get this on daily basis. If I open my WhatsApp, you see it on daily basis. But all this stress would be taken off.
Would you bring back that loan system for the nursing and teacher training?
No, the loan system it should be available for everybody. It should be available for everybody. And I remember, you see, Ghana, who's a Amanyo Amanyo 17 1, 70 biba, yen to your buntium. Obekaya 2016, all that we were saying was that we wanted to make the loans available to all tertiary institutions, including teacher training and nursing training. And we believe that the loans would help them even more than the allowance, which doesn't come. Even though the allowance is a grant, it hasn't come. It is so. And as our allowance in yet number. But this time around, what we are saying is that the loans will be available for them anyway. As grants and then I had more money the income, but the loans will also be available so that after first year they can also have that no fee stress comfort of using the student loan to pay for the rest of the years. But what you you know, say yes, I did we I did say a big pressure a free hour for so the mouth for whom being high on Sikan come with the bed. They can do other investments.
What plan do you have for the pre schools? No, secondary before me secondary near there because a teacher for the be extra say I say any no ye cost ye jam
no say enye NDC and Yankopon de Omoje Ghana Nanka preschool ya dianki atuma de mukra because I buy for the in fact I have been trying to research how many preschools, new preschools have been built, and it's very, very difficult. In fact, most of the schools almost see free class 1 to class 6. In Tukun class, particularly the northern sector, school no more start free class 1. Or Trefia Edwa near the Nakujina class 1. In Tukujina Okra, I feel no best start here a start here can kind. You understand? Because we have invested less in that area. But what I manifesto Numa, we have a comprehensive program for early childhood education. And we call advanced countries like China and India, early childhood education, the focus of the training is not about what the things that we teach even in our early childhood education here. We call China, for example. In Kwalano preschool, Omwana, you have seen that. Those are the things that develops the minds of the kids faster. It's Obedru class 1 now why very independent and he's able to do almost everything tax that he developed. And so those are the kind of comprehensive system we are trying to employ from a preschool honomo. Said me a building in Kwalano in a manner that they can have a smooth transition in primary education. So what you see. It's apart from the issue of access and the quality and the learning materials, which has also become one of the biggest challenges of this government. Yeah, the new curriculum about 5 years in the textbook textbook
curriculum na posi mo ana mo dey tie sexual education issue okoje to na come this aka go deputy minister yeah mo tro to ho kra so mo kra ba begin ho dey
na kwasem the least said about him the better na ko dey say atase na achi no so obi abonidue
obi Dr. Matthew Boku Prempe.
Former
Minister of Education.
I think former
Minister of Energy.
Because you see, since Napo got selected, Napo no. Obi bibi.
Sese.
If you for ya no.
Na mo de curriculum aba no kan wasema o se obi.
If you for ya Napo no mo shekambu. Me ya sure say omo nante kro mo nante latest form so. Because what is happening to Napo?
And then campaign no wobble.
And I know the video be am share me sere ya tifri akunyam beto form. Na wakojina be bi se. Wakojina be bi se NDC ba ye police station ye wo hanyina mutuma NDC ba ye omunya hwe na ye ba na microphone start here. David mu nso budi omunya hwe kra na akoye ja. Ni bu afu no de mic na to no. Napo but you fa Napo asem ntonche comprehensive sexuality education Napo na end cover by it no Ghana fu nyina wo mo support MPP in fact wo mo support MPP wo mo say Napo Minister of Education ko no the gain some mo bank education no wa be vice president ne bobubu e ma no afi no mbesua gain ye nankasa em say na what say mo ye demonstration about say gains and some Iti no ni nyina no bi a otie bia no hu bebi afri na nke ba ne sen ne ane sen na ambe any yako parliament a pass him I would be a president who the so best we see case being in number the case in the crowd president announce you na case in could court president can say case be pending no na case in could court here it you know let's put all those things aside let's come back to the issue
yeah quite Greek in a Greek planting for food and jobs they are buying the buyers or be work here for o share down minister nkomo awo boy ya Brian the champion o say abaye yi na aboa kokko akuafo papa o resika wo de ama wo mu nansa nya de peton nya semketwa
yo
sisike bafu
yo
ani adia
na sika no we na ya ma men bi kokko na ni su kakra nchiro say wo hwe Ghana one of the key sectors are Ghana nya forex pie cocoa. In 2017, Ghana enya $2.8 billion every cocoa. 2018, enya $3.2 billion every cocoa. Through 2018, abayin we ankasa ne ye starting ma cocoa Edwin Doye. Apart from price, I know we increase for almost 4 years. Na MPP4 increase cocoa price. And so na cocoa price cost. Apart from no cocoa no ye yo and say omo betwa no ba no dodo no engina sebio wo de wano fafa e be ka se o mebu cocoa sebio se de mpanifo kan no wo de wano don rea e bi wo but cocoa ye ne sa it takes real effort say o hwe input sector ai wo cocoa me ka input seedlings no wo mo bedua ene adura wo mo de begu so spray ya wo mo spray so how agriculture we friend cultural practices how wo mo manage cocoa na amana ko du bra ye beti cocoa eno ena ma cocoa eso wo sha cocoa no from that time 2018 there which was an effect of what we had done in government before leaving power wo sha after that time the cocoa no yield no as what is and last year even the real cocoa yield, Cocoa Board was not able to tell us. In actual fact, the real cocoa yield for last year was 350,000 tons, the lowest in about 40 years. Many can say, afi your cocoa obligations, we are falling short by almost 300,000 metric tons. Your cocoa obligation, I buy we buy and your way and
say why they are having some issues. I will say for Jones.
I buy we.
I be over.
What's some the crown the Ghana see but when your mammy come free baby, I may fair free. Once a cocoa no say Okodama so now coton. Your spot price are every day beyond based on demand and supply. International Cocoa Exchange for demand and supply and determine price of cocoa. Now your other financing arrangement be so a friend forward sales. It makes me ask next year me produce cocoa bears 1 million metric tons. So 1 million metric tons so me percent me ton ma in advance. It no me ye forward sales. Say the be ya me twa cocoa na me dia brew. Ghana ye forward sales are ye forward sales na I think 5 years ago. And ye ton cocoa no it was $3,200 per ton. $3,200. And then Ukoda Maiswa cocoa 1 ton. In fact, as at 3 months ago, now forward sales near $9,600. Now, but in the men, I said, one I make it hedging. I said, and you're hedging, but your friend forward sales 1 ton ahead. I saw supply 3,200 no, Siciano, and 9,600. 9,600 put it 3,200 fuma a kind. Almost $6,400 additional amount, and we have locked ourselves in this long-term forward sales. We are not able to take advantage of the current cocoa price. And then stock main check this week the spot price, but the spot price the last time I checked was almost $6,900.
So they call picking crime.
Yes, picking crime. It will come now. Now, ton cocoa even spot price. Sabi you nanka cocoa bottle back. Nanka bottle back. Konke ye ton the best 5,000 Ghana cedis.
By a ton ye be sada. Say you call a spot price.
No, you ton spot price. You ton in fact time ya toss spot be brave. And ye for one sales as well. Ya 1 year. So that you can take, so you are able to do the actuarial analysis. It will be every to me estimation, no, forecast and they say, I feel we cocoa bobe costro way. Even when you go to the international market, because of the quality of our cocoa and how competitive we are able to even negotiate our own forward price. You understand? We have lost that space. It's negotiate your own forward price. It's in our cocoa farmers, no. Sika KSC at the moment, and you who have a cry at the moment. I feel more converted.
No, they are paying better prices than you do.
They are not paying better price. Absolutely not. Because you see, before again, they be no more SSB, you know, they do all kinds of analysis to confuse us. So, Usha, price now, what they man, relativity analysis. You index it to inflation. Then you see whether Sikana Odema a Ghana for no. What is the real value? Your friend, purchasing power parity. So what I say. It's no better. Sikano now Odema Ghana, and then a betting yasono. What is the rate to the dollar? So what I say. Some men who converted to the dollar. How much was it? Because most of the things we consume here are imported. You always use the dollar as a reference. That's the only way you can do a better analysis. And when you do that analysis, you will see, say, near people for them farmers, they tons. That's why they are not producing. Now, every farmer, question of Nakoke, cocoa farmers, so I'm farmer, a galamse near Mana Bitua. One can say, a baby before from. To see a big robber, if a robber, pan or would be a pan. Because cocoa is profitable. Inputs are where you soon a warning. And I want my inputs in the winding. You understand? So there's no conscious effort by government to look at the real challenges are frustrated farmers, which is mainly the input.
What is the plan?
Now, as I say, we'll be a food now. Wako do few. And the power best or Yabana Galamsi machine see a phone. As I say, how do you think that farmer will be motivated to come and plant cocoa? Anything I hear the narco form. It's not a carcass, he said. And then cocoa yield the alcohol form in my intimate international obligations. It is directly the work of government, the failure of government, the incompetence of the managers of cocoa. And I might do something. And so we need a government that understands cocoa rehabilitation. Cocoa ni binya edrum pepper so bia.
Which government is doing now?
Cocoa rehabilitation. Cocoa amuchegu yenyina base 2-3 years ago. Base ne ebi wo ho a omunya seedlings. Last time I was having an interview somewhere. Somebody called me. Say you try the cocoa 2 years ago. Base ne seedlings ni bi kura ni ho. This government is not able to produce the seedlings. Just seedlings. Within 1 year, you distributed 20 million seedlings in 2015. 20 million seedlings. And it is sad 20 million seedlings, you know, a home fast 1 year channel, a year 2018, and here hit almost 1 million metric tons. That's the work that we did continuously for 3-4 years. Now we're averaging 1 million metric tons. 2016 year free abemu 986,000 metric tons.
Planting for food and jobs.
Planting for food and job, planting for planting the Chelese Woodia. Woodia Naya, Ubicha, and Ameboa.
Is it a good policy?
What is a good policy?
Planting for food and jobs.
The indicators of a good policy is the outcomes of the policy, not the name of the policy. Near MPP is just empty sloganeering. No results. No, but why? Then we were doing agriculture program. In fact, Megasep. Megasep was one of the major flagship agriculture program I never heard of. And one of my best is sending the planting for food and jobs. It's just empty sloganeering. The policy was there. In fact, we got $150 million from Canada to invest in 2017 before we were leaving. And no number changing any planting for food. It's just empty sloganeering. And never seen it. Me no kasi. Me demand the answer me per policy document for planting for food and jobs. My co-ministry wa kwa tata omo enra. Iti and a branty bia or ye jumo and no small girl back on was send one. Report for planting of food and jobs one. But dear today, in fact, I know the security document. They are not allowed to give the report. Report me where?
You know, see a small girl.
There be a regulation or framework for two. No, no report. But report near the outcome, how we perform. But see, a security document. Yes, me and for Mobia. What will be that? What would I report?
But former minister can for sure.
And then by one report. And young fast one.
Dear, no butchers a bunch of
I could just make a main town call my wife in the court. And you know, the minister they can hook or two with you more.
Body, that's a body there.
Hook or two with you more.
Body and then
one cotton. It's you know, and I make us say planting for food and jobs. No cow plant here. I said that food. Next I jobs. But planting I and so food number.
So what's the policy of John Mahama when it comes to agri?
There be one alcohol planting for food. I mean, baby, a movie. One alcohol buy. And now we will say a bit more.
I can't 4 minutes.
The patch of 4 minutes in the day, so planting for food. Planting for food and jobs. And your policy. And your policy, I have a planting for food and jobs. No, it's just the name. So we'll drop that because there is even no policy framework for it. Even the one has no policy framework. But what we are bringing, your friend agriculture for economic transformation. Under the agriculture for economic transformation, you are feeding the Ghana program. Feeding Ghana program, no. The main policies I was here no farmer services center. You can farmer services center. You say the biggest problem input sources. Input affordability, input accessibility. It will be one more cry, input no per cry, brother brands and opinion. When you saw the board and then they want to meet talk, it's no where game. Kayono say, obey 10 acres. No, I want it because Nisi Council. Charter want to mean fa. It's no President Mahama said, you share every agro district via agro zone via near setting up the farmer services center. Farmer services center, ni be one stop shop for all our agriculture needs. It's no unya charter. I'm an edge so and charter. If you want it, be 500 Ghana. Uti a year, Ubenya 450 Ghana. Sa charter no. Na amount for 500 Ghana no. You see a DC Farmer Services Center. Egu okwa no akobuku ni akoju asase so am. Esa say ya buy the engine 500 Ghana na private for ne no. Endru sa. Nti ya fa ne say aban na eye nti no. Aban ate so say egu. It's no tia be say 200 Ghana. So 200 Ghana now we tia. Unya say obetua no fiscal cash immediately if you don't have the cash. It's no ba wasa see 5 acres. Abaya fa tractor no akodwa ama. So 5 acres no calculate e be 1,000 Ghana. Ya chiro odi na ya farms 1,000 Ghana for tractor services. Wo do tractor ni wie no. Unya seats. Seats ne so ne bodendendendendendend. And a problem back why was seats no crab when say near one market German so no quality no a problem. Emma a in fact Ministry of Education Food and Agriculture and care of the quality of the seeds that are coming. That department is almost collapsed now.